What if I told you that behind the leather jackets, thundering guitars, and larger-than-life personas, some of heavy metal's biggest icons were hiding a truth the world never knew? They played to sold-out arenas, embodied rebellion, and became symbols of raw power but offstage. Their private lives told a different story. In a world that often demanded toughness and conformity, these stars kept a part of themselves locked away, fearing it might shatter the image fans adored. Here are 14 heavy metal stars who were secretly gay. 14. Rob Halford. Rob Halford, the legendary frontman of Judas Priest, is often celebrated as one of the greatest heavy metal voices ever. His piercing screams and commanding stage presence helped define the very sound of metal. Yet for decades, Halford carried a secret that weighed heavily on him. He was gay, in a world where metal wasn't ready to accept it. The pressure of hiding his true self caused him immense personal struggles, but in the late 90s, he finally came out. Instead of weakening his career, his courage only made fans respect him more. Halford became proof that heavy metal's toughness wasn't about image, but about authenticity and strength of character. His bravery broke barriers for countless others who felt trapped in silence. And today, he stands as a symbol of both musical greatness and personal courage. 13. Pete Steele. Pete Steele, the towering frontman of Type O Negative, was known for his deep, haunting vocals and darkly poetic lyrics. He often played with themes of sexuality in his music, interviews, and even on stage, which stirred endless rumors about his private life. Steele's sense of humor often blurred the line between truth and provocation, leaving fans unsure whether he was being honest or simply stirring controversy. While he never openly identified as gay, his constant flirtation with the idea kept the whispers alive. For many, Steele's boldness represented an artist unafraid to challenge norms in an era when heavy metal was dominated by hyper-masculine images. His image as a gothic sex symbol only deepened the intrigue, and even years after his passing, discussions about his true orientation remain a point of fascination. Steele embodied mystery, blending music, sexuality, and spectacle into one unforgettable presence. 12. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the electrifying voice of Queen, blurred the line between rock and metal with his powerful performances. His flamboyant stage persona captivated millions, but behind the glitz, he kept his sexuality hidden for much of his life. Mercury was gay, yet in the conservative atmosphere of the 70s and 80s, he feared how the truth would affect his career. While rumors followed him for years, he rarely addressed them directly, choosing instead to let his music speak louder than words. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody and Somebody to Love carried an emotional weight that many later linked to his personal struggles. When Mercury's AIDS diagnosis became public near the end of his life, the world finally understood the silence he carried. His courage to perform until his final days turned him into not just a music legend, but also a symbol of strength for gay men who felt unseen. 11. Gaahl. Gaahl, the enigmatic frontman of the Norwegian black metal band Gorgoroth, built his reputation on a dark, fearsome image. Known for his corpse paint, chilling screams, and anti-religious stance, he was the last person fans expected to challenge stereotypes beyond music. But when Gaahl openly revealed that he was gay, the extreme metal community was stunned. Black metal had long been associated with hyper-masculine aggression and rebellion, yet Gaahl's honesty flipped those expectations on their head. Instead of hiding, he embraced his truth boldly, showing that being gay was no weakness, it was simply part of who he was. His revelation forced fans to confront their own prejudices and widened the idea of what a metal artist could be. In one of the most brutal subgenres, Gaahl's openness carved a new space for individuality, making him both a controversial and pioneering figure in heavy metal's evolution. 10. Otep Shamaya. Otep Shamaya, the fierce frontwoman of the nu metal band Otep, never shied away from speaking her truth. From the very beginning of her career, she openly embraced her identity as a gay artist, using her platform to confront issues of discrimination, sexuality, and personal freedom. Her aggressive yet poetic lyrics often tackled topics that others in the heavy metal world were too afraid to touch. For Otep, being gay was never something to hide. It was a badge of authenticity and rebellion against a society that often silenced such voices. Her performances were raw, passionate, and unapologetic, leaving no doubt about where she stood. By living openly, she inspired countless fans who were struggling with their own identities, proving that strength in metal isn't just about screaming louder or playing faster, it's about daring to be yourself. Otep's presence gave the genre a voice it didn't know it needed. 9. Paul Masvidal. Paul Masvidal, guitarist and co-founder of the progressive death metal band Pinnick, is one of the most influential musicians in the genre. Known for blending complex jazz elements with extreme metal, his music broke boundaries, and so did his personal life. Masvidal publicly came out as gay, a bold move in a scene where such openness was almost unheard of. His honesty challenged long-held stereotypes about what it meant to be a death metal musician. Fans respected his courage, recognizing that his talent and innovation mattered more than anything else. By sharing his truth, Masvidal became an unintentional trailblazer, opening doors for other artists in extreme metal to embrace who they really were. His story isn't just about music, it's about authenticity, resilience, and showing that even in the most brutal corners of heavy metal, there is room for acceptance. Masvidal proved that brilliance knows no boundaries. 8. Reinert. Reinert, the powerhouse drummer behind Death and Pinnick, changed the sound of extreme metal forever. His technical precision, speed, and creativity pushed the genre into new territory. But beyond his music, Reinert carried a truth that few dared to share in such a brutal scene: he was gay. For years, he kept this hidden, fearing the backlash from fans who saw metal as a bastion of hypermasculinity. Eventually, Reinert came out publicly, alongside his bandmate Paul Masvidal, shaking the foundations of the death metal community. His honesty not only inspired LGBTQ+ fans, but also forced the scene to face its own prejudices. Reinert proved that artistry and identity could exist together without compromise. Sadly, his untimely death left a void in the world of metal, but his bravery lives on as a reminder that even in the darkest and harshest subgenres, being gay is nothing to hide. 7. Roddy Bottum. Roddy Bottum, the keyboardist for Faith No More, helped shape alternative metal with his bold creativity and fearless experimentation. Unlike many of his peers, Bottum didn't shy away from who he was. He came out as gay in the early 90s, at a time when the music world was still uneasy about such revelations. His honesty not only freed him personally, but also influenced the band's art and direction. Bottum often used his music to reflect his identity, making Faith No More stand apart from their peers in the metal and rock world. While other artists feared their careers might crumble, Bottum's openness only added to his authenticity. He became a role model for fans who saw their own struggles mirrored in his confidence. By living authentically, Bottum proved that heavy music could evolve, challenge norms, and remain powerful. His story became one of triumph, acceptance, and fearless creativity. 6. Doug Pinnick. Doug Pinnick, the bassist and vocalist of King's X, was celebrated for his soulful voice and genre-bending style that blended hard rock, funk, and metal. Yet, when he revealed that he was gay, the news sent shockwaves through the rock and metal community. Pinnick faced criticism, backlash, and even lost fans and industry support, but he refused to be silenced. His music carried even more emotional depth after coming out, resonating with listeners who felt the sting of rejection and the power of perseverance. Despite the obstacles, Pinnick remained dedicated to his craft, proving that talent and truth can outshine prejudice. His bravery helped pave the way for other gay musicians in heavy music, reminding fans that the spirit of rock and metal has always been about rebellion and individuality. Doug Pinnick's courage transformed pain into strength, ensuring his place as both a pioneer and a survivor in the scene. 5. Mark Slaughter. Mark Slaughter, frontman of the glam metal band Slaughter, was a larger-than-life figure during the wild days of the late 80s and early 90s. With his big vocals, flashy image, and stage presence, he fit perfectly into the glam metal era. But behind the music and fame, whispers about his sexuality followed him throughout his career. Rumors suggested that Slaughter might have been gay, though he never confirmed or denied them publicly. In an era when image meant everything, such speculation could both boost curiosity and create controversy. While the truth of those rumors remains unclear, they show just how much pressure artists faced to maintain a particular image in the heavy metal world. For many fans, the rumors only added to his mystique, making Slaughter an intriguing figure. Whether true or not, the conversations around his private life highlight how tightly fame and secrecy were woven together in glam metal. 4. Chris Holmes. Chris Holmes, guitarist of WASP, became infamous for his outrageous lifestyle, wild antics, and larger-than-life persona. He embodied the excess and rebellion of 80s glam and shock metal, often living on the edge both on and off the stage. But throughout his career, rumors swirled about his private life, particularly his sexuality. Whispers suggested Holmes might have been gay, though he never confirmed them. In the hyper-macho glam scene, these rumors created both controversy and fascination. Holmes often brushed off personal questions, letting speculation fuel his notoriety. Whether or not the gossip had any truth, it highlighted the culture of secrecy that surrounded many heavy metal stars at the time. Fans were drawn not only to his guitar skills, but also to the mystery of who he really was behind the wild persona. Chris Holmes became proof that sometimes the greatest intrigue in heavy metal comes from what remains unsaid. 3. Phil Anselmo. Phil Anselmo, the intense and fiery frontman of Pantera, represented aggression and raw power in the 90s metal scene. His growls and stage presence made him one of the most iconic voices in heavy metal. Yet for all his toughness, rumors followed him about his private life, including speculation that he might be gay. Anselmo never addressed these whispers directly, but his controversial behavior and outspoken nature only fueled curiosity. In a world where image was everything, even unconfirmed gossip could shake perceptions. While no proof ever surfaced, the persistence of the rumors showed how much fans connected masculinity with sexuality in metal. Anselmo's career was marked by both triumphs and scandals, making him a magnet for speculation of every kind. The gay rumors, true or not, became part of the mythology around him, illustrating how fame often blurs the line between fact and fiction in the heavy metal world. 2. Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson, though often labeled as shock rock, had a strong influence on heavy metal with his dark image and controversial performances. Known for pushing boundaries, Manson blurred the lines between masculinity and femininity, leaving fans constantly guessing about his sexuality. While he never outright declared himself gay, his androgynous look, provocative lyrics, and stage behavior often hinted at it. Manson leaned into the speculation, using it to fuel his rebellious image and unsettle those who tried to label him. By embracing ambiguity, he forced audiences to confront their own discomfort and stereotypes. His career thrived on this mystique, making him one of the most talked-about figures in modern metal. Whether gay or not, Manson's openness to defy gender and sexual norms left a lasting impact, influencing a generation of fans and musicians to embrace individuality without fear. His name became synonymous with shock, art, and unapologetic freedom. 1. Rob Caggiano. Rob Caggiano, guitarist for Anthrax and later Volbeat, is known for his skill, creativity, and contributions to thrash and modern metal. Unlike some of the flamboyant figures in the genre, Caggiano has always maintained a low-key, private lifestyle. But even with his quieter presence, rumors circulated about his sexuality, with whispers suggesting he might be gay. Caggiano never publicly confirmed or denied these claims, choosing instead to focus on his music. The speculation, however, highlighted how deeply personal lives become a subject of intrigue in heavy metal. Fans often projected their curiosity onto him because of his reserved nature, turning mystery into rumor. Whether or not those whispers hold any truth, the conversation around him shows how fame can make even the most private details into public fascination. Rob Caggiano remains respected for his artistry, proving that while the gossip comes and goes, the music is what truly endures. Behind the roaring guitars, leather jackets, and wild energy, these stories remind us that even the toughest icons carried secrets the world wasn't ready to hear. Some bravely came out as gay, breaking barriers in a genre built on rebellion, while others kept their truth locked away, leaving only whispers and rumors behind. Their journeys show us that heavy metal has always been about more than noise. It's about authenticity, courage, and refusing to live by anyone else's rules. But which of these revelations shocked you the most? And did any of these names change how you see the history of heavy metal? If you loved uncovering these hidden truths, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more untold stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next.